Welcome to the Justin Ng Show, where real entrepreneurs and investors reveal how they turn humble beginnings into high-impact ventures. From bold moves to capital raises, we unpack what it really takes to build and scale greatness. Let's go check it out. Welcome back to the Justin Ng Show, now sponsored by Ample Points, and recorded live from their brand new studio here in sunny Las Vegas. I'm joined by John Haremza, entrepreneur, speaker, and author of Right or Almost Right. He's a veteran leader in direct sales with a track record of building teams and generating over $1 billion in lifetime sales. John, welcome to the show. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, John, for joining me
You're
here
welcome.
today.
Thank you. Great to be here.
At Ample Points and their new studio here in Vegas. And typically I start out with asking, tell us more about your journey, how from humble beginnings to where you are right now. Maybe the high level sense of how that shaped you to how you are and where you are right now. Yeah.
I grew up in a small town in Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
A town of about 2,000 people, and I have a learning disability. I have dyslexia.
Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of interesting because I remember as a really young, like a child, mm-hmm. I was very outgoing, right? And then when I went to school, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with me, right? Because like even in kindergarten or in preschool, everybody got like a star because they were able to spell their name. And I remember being so upset about not being able to spell my name.
Oh, okay.
Right. Uh-huh. And then that's kind of where it started, where I started to kind of close up or, I kind of almost try to be invisible, if you will. Mm-hmm. And it just continued on through all school, right? I mean, because, you'd be teased and taunted and, put in all these special classes to have tests read to you and stuff, or, try to read out loud in class and, people laughing and things like that. So it was a very humiliating,
I understand,
type of experience. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I think people choose different ways to, whether like either act out and try to become, like the center of attention or whatever to divert. Or for me, I just closed up, right? And was very, very shy, very introverted, just sat in the back of the room, just tried not to be noticed. And I still have that characteristic about me unless mm-hmm. I'm in a room where I'm really comfortable.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right out of high school, I went to work, in a factory. And I was really good building with my hands and things of that nature.
Okay.
And so, started out as a machine operator. It was actually a potato chip snack food company.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In my local town, and really loved my job. But my goal was if I could ever get into the maintenance department. Right.
Okay.
And so I would actually stay after work to help out the maintenance, department. And eventually there was an opening and got my dream job as a maintenance person. And then I really excelled in that. Eventually mm-hmm. became the maintenance supervisor. Mm-hmm. And I remember, the little crew that I had, a little crew of 5 people. I worked days, but I also would give assignments to the evening group. But I would even come in and show them because they thought, wow, I was such a great boss to them because I was so hands-on.
Yes.
Little did they know the main reason I was hands-on is I couldn't really give them written instruction.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I would be like in there working with them to, help them understand what I really wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So that was, kind of my entry, and I really kind of began to build my self-esteem a little bit because I was really excelling at this job.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
They loved me there. And then a friend of mine invited me to their house for something to do with water filters. And, I didn't know, I thought they wanted me to build a display or, maybe look at the quality of the product or something like that.
Yeah.
Certainly not sell, because I literally wouldn't even say hi to someone unless they said hi to me first.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a breakdown at the factory that day that I was supposed to go to this person's house. And so it was a long, long day. It was like a 12-hour day. And, I get done with work and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to go to this house and do this. I just wanted to go home. I was living in a trailer house at the time and, do what I did every night. Right. Maybe, have a beer and sink into the couch with a pizza or, something like that. And then do it again next day.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I made the commitment to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to this home party it was. And so this, again, small town Minnesota. I remember walking in, I'm 2 hours late. And there were two, what I called, we're about 3.5 hours outside of Minneapolis. There
Okay.
were these, what I termed as, two suits from Minneapolis. And I came directly from work. So I'm show up in a blue uniform, with a hairnet on. I had hair back then.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Okay.
my steel-toed boots and
Yeah.
everything. And,
Yeah.
and I could just feel the disdain or on these two suits from Minneapolis. Like, we just waited 2 hours for this guy. Right. And so there were 5 of us there that night. And they were showing us these water filters. Now, this is 37 years ago. And so you think about, in-home water filtration was very new, really cutting edge. Bottled water really wasn't even hardly on the scene yet. I mean,
Okay.
people were like, pay for bottled water? That's ridiculous, right? And so, but I got really excited about the potential of this water filter. Okay. And, I bought 4 water filters right there on the spot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I paid, they were $120 a piece, and I would sell them for $179. I'd make $59, right? So I bought 4 water filters right on the spot, wrote a check out for $420, I think it was, and came home at that time to my fiance, coming in with this armful of water filters, and she's just like, "What did you do?" And I'm like, "You're not going to believe what these things do," and blah blah blah. And she had thought I completely lost my mind. She had not seen me so excited about something,
Yes.
right? And so the way these things were sold is you would knock on doors, or you'd have somebody try them. It's called a puppy dog approach. You'd try it for a week,
Okay.
and you just like giving somebody a puppy. You
Yeah.
wouldn't want to give up the great tasting water. It's like 2 cents a gallon, and people were spending how much in the store for a bottle of water at that time. And so I went that weekend. This is December of 1988. I'm knocking on doors in the middle of the winter, asking people, "Hey, my name is John Haremza. I'm with National Safety Associates. I wonder if you'd be interested in a free 1-week supply of bottled water right at your tap, blah, blah, blah." And I got 3 people to try the filters, came back the next week to check on them.
Yes.
Right. Brought my brother with me for moral support.
Yeah.
Right. And so I sold one of the 3 filters. And I put 59, bought it for 120, sold it for 179, put $59 in my pocket. I looked at my brother and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm going to be rich. This is the easiest money I ever made in my life."
Okay.
Right. And so he got all excited about it and wanted to get involved now. And I didn't understand what network marketing. I mean, network marketing, the whole concept of, being in business for yourself, you represent a company, and you represent a company, and they do everything for you. You just got to go out and promote it, and you get paid, and you can build a team, right? And leverage the team. I didn't understand any of that, right? All I could see was buying a filter and selling a filter. So when my brother wanted to get involved, I'm like, I don't want anybody else doing this, right? I just wanted to do it myself.
Yeah.
But he's my brother. And I said, "Okay, I'm going to let you in on this deal, but we need to make a pact between us. No one else is to know about this." Okay.
Yeah.
And so we were going to dominate that area. And then I went to an event, and I came up to the presenter after the event. This is in Fargo, 70 miles away, and came up to the presenter afterwards and was just all excited and said, "Wow, this is incredible. We're going to go canvas Fargo and place a bunch of filters." And he says, "You're going to do what?" And I said, "Yeah, go out, knock on doors, and try to get people to try filters."
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, I made $203,000 last year. And if you told me I had to knock on doors to do it, I'd have never done it." And he says, "Who introduced you to it?" I told him, and he says, "You're actually part of my organization." And then so he brought me up into his room as my brother with me, and started showing me the concept of building, not just selling the product, but selling the opportunity for other people to get involved.
Yeah.
And completely had a paradigm shift. Saw the concept of leveraging the efforts of other people, and so kind of changed right there, and started selling not just the product, but now trying to build a team and create that leveraged income. A few months later, I quit my job and went full time, and that's what launched me into what I'm doing today. But an interesting point I want to make, because I have a personal philosophy, and it's called small steps, right? And basically, what it means is never underestimate the impact of every decision you make, right? Regardless of how small or insignificant it might be, it has an impact on your life, on where you are today, right? So you think about going back to, had that long day at the factory, did not want to go to this event at this person's house. but I made a commitment to do it, so I went.
Yes.
And that meeting, that little decision to go versus to go home, completely changed the course of my life.
Right.
Right.
That's
But then
amazing.
you think about the compounding effect of that decision.
Yeah.
Literally hundreds of thousands of people, as a result of me going to that little home meeting versus going home, through the people I introduced and the people they introduced, literally tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of people ended up getting introduced to this home-based business concept,
Right.
right? This space,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, I think that's one of the things that people never seem to look at is, I mean, where a person is today in their life is a direct result of the decisions they make,
Okay. Yeah. So
right?
it's impactful.
Yeah, impact, because
Yeah.
because one of the other side benefits of getting involved in the home-based business, the network marketing MLM space, is I then got introduced to personal development, right?
Okay.
and
Okay.
and that completely began to change the way I see the world, the way I see everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Jim Rohn,
Yeah.
Jim Rohn talks about, what happens to us all,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's
Yeah.
what you do about what happens that make the difference.
Right.
And he makes an example of two people, right? Identical circumstances, different decisions
Yeah.
of those circumstances, completely different outcome,
Right.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, when someone is not happy with where they are in life, right, or things aren't going the way they want it to,
Mm-hmm.
many times it can be just changing the decisions they make about everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because matter of fact, I heard this because we're a victim of our environments, right? And my dad was a janitor at a high school. My mom worked in a dog food factory. I'm just kind of following suit,
Yeah.
right? This
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
and really thought that I had a great job. And then this little opportunity came that I chose to look at. It completely changed the course of my life. And so,
Oh. Okay.
people have these things come presented to them all the time, and they're cynical, or they never, that'll never work, or whatever. And you have to be open-minded enough to want to look. And if you're not where you want to be, you definitely need to think about, what can I change
Yeah.
of what I'm doing,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
That can open more doors for me, or maybe bring me in a better direction,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. And how that shaped you, like that aha moment that you feel that, and then also you use that to propel you. How did that actually turn up and help you?
Well, I think, number one, you know, because I was making $9 an hour, right, and
Mm-hmm.
thought I had the best job in the world, and then I get opened up into this, and then what happens is it opens up a whole new set of people that you hang around with,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
People that are like-minded,
Mm-hmm.
and that are excited about their life versus complaining about their life,
Indeed.
and
Yeah.
they're trying to move forward. So there's also a lot that can come from that, right? Getting around the right people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that opened up the personal development, getting involved in something that literally had unlimited potential, and so I started to really begin to dream and imagine. So when I started out initially, I just wanted to make a few hundred extra dollars a month,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to do that. Then I started thinking, gosh, I could make $1,000 extra a month. And again, this is 36 years ago, right?
Yeah.
That would be like, a 50% raise in my monthly income.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that. And then I thought, if I could make $3,000 a month, be in business for myself, I wouldn't know what to do with the money, right? And so, you start looking at those types of things, and that's when I went full time, and that little decision, if you think about it,
Mm-hmm.
has now spawned into $30 million in earnings.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's truly amazing. Yeah. But did you stick with the same thing, or you
No,
actually
so
branch
what
out?
you learn. I mean, I'm very grateful for that first experience. I spent 4 years with that company.
Mm-hmm.
I learned, and the company's still around today,
Oh wow.
right?
Okay.
I learned an awful lot, about people and different things like that. But also, what's important is, timing's important, and I felt like I needed a consumable product, which they now have, that company, but at that time they didn't. It was a water filter. Buy one, you don't need to replace it for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So every month you're having to start over.
Yeah.
And so, really believing in the potential, but wanting a consumable product in a little better timing scenario, I moved on to another company, and had, now I went into it with a belief in network marketing, with an understanding of it, but now with a consumable product, timing was better. So my first experience, that 4-year experience, I made like $400,000, which is life-changing money, right? For me, coming from $9 an hour.
Yeah.
Then I got in my second experience, was there 12 years, and over that 12-year window, that was selling supplements, consumable type products. Ended up earning about $4 million. Okay. And I'm like, this is, great. And of course, people are always, well, what happened, right?
Yeah.
And in that particular case, the first case, one of the very, very top earners left the company, and it really just threw things. Because at that time, I thought there were two companies in the world: the company I was with and Amway, right? And so I really thought I had it. But when this person left, it kind of made me step back and take my blinders off. And I realized there was a big world in network marketing. I began to really study the network marketing, the MLM space. And that's when I learned about timing and consumable products and some of the other elements necessary, for great success, right? And so that's what led me to make that decision to move from that water filter company to this consumable company. Spent 12 years now with the consumable company, made $4 million. And then what happened there is the company got sold. And then it got sold again. And then it merged with another company. And it literally completely changed what it originally was. And I lost my belief. Right? I didn't think anybody could do what I had done. And so, and this type of a business is very much about belief. And for me in general, if I'm representing, talking about something, selling something, I have to believe. Right. And not that every company doesn't have ups and downs, but if I don't at my core believe in what it is or what we're doing, I can't in good conscience continue to do it. Right. And so when I lost that, that was a 12-year experience. And the first 8 years was phenomenal. Then it was sold, and all these things started happening. And I spent the next 4 years still involved. Literally woke up every morning frustrated, like, how did you guys screw this thing up so bad?
Oh man!
Right. And so finally reached a point where I made a decision to leave. And because of what I had done in the past, I was able to get become the very first person in a startup company, and ended up spending the next 12 years there with them and their sister company. And over that 12-year window, now made $12 million. Okay. And again, what happened? The owner of the company did some things that really impacted my trust, and trust kind of the foundation behind belief. And so when you can't unknow something, once you know something, you can't unknow it. Right. And again, it was just, I couldn't get over it. And so even though I'm making a lot of money, my trust was gone. So I had to make a decision, and I left, and I became a master distributor of another company and spent the next 7 years there. And that was a phenomenal experience as well. Made $11 million in 7 years, and then the owner of the company decided to go a different direction, and something I didn't want to go, and so decided to part ways again, and that's what led me to the company I'm involved in now. Which very excited about it as well. And then of course I've branched off into a lot of different other types of things. But life in general is so much about the decisions you make and contacts, and I never burn bridges, right? Because you never know, when that person's going to circle back around in your life. Right.
Indeed. And so that was kind of like a mindset shift for you, like a aha moment that made you like, you 10x, and then you grow again and you grow again, and you got all the experiences from those.
It just keeps compounding on itself. As long as you keep, probably one of the things I'm most proud of is, having been in this industry, this space for now 36 years, coming up on 37 years. And if you Google me, there's no one saying anything bad about me.
Okay, nice. That's
right.
impressive.
And so to be in the direct sales space and be able to make that statement, I think is a rare statement.
That's amazing. And, coming from a factory, did you have to build up your sales experience all the time? Like, because
it just kind of happened slowly. I was very, and I think this maybe comes a little bit from my learning disability of dyslexia. I was a good listener. Okay. And so I really, I'm like a sponge, right? So, I like from the personal development standpoint, going to the events, listening to people that have done it, and trying to, find those key points that can really make a difference. Right. But at the end of the day, people buy people, right? It's your passion, it's your posture, it's your belief, your enthusiasm about what it is you're doing that attracts or influences others, right? And
Gotcha.
so
Okay.
that's where I'm saying if my belief isn't there, because I don't like to think of it as sales, because sales to me kind of is like trying to get somebody to do something they may not want to do, right? And where if you really believe in something, now you're helping someone else believe that they can do that too, right? You did it, you
Okay.
can help someone
Yeah.
else. But if you don't have that belief, very very difficult to get someone, because at the end of the day, whether it's a feeling or an intuition or whatever, this statement I say, people buy people. If
Yeah.
you don't really really believe in it, unless you're really really good in sales or whatever, which again now it's manipulation,
I see what you're
right?
saying.
Not
Yeah.
sales, or not really, bringing somebody in because you believe, you're bringing somebody in of what it can do for you
Okay.
versus what it can do for them.
Right. Exactly. So you're kind of like building the sales thing, your pitch and everything opposite of like what people saying like for a car salesman, like
Hmm.
very kind
Yeah.
of cheesy, and you want to build it in a way that you believe. You know,
Yeah, I
if you
mean, if you're a
believe,
car
yeah,
salesman and you think the cars that you're representing or the brand you're representing is not a good brand, you're not going to be a good salesman in that
yeah, okay,
selling that brand,
okay,
right? You need to find something you really believe in. I mean,
hmm,
that's probably the number one tip that I give people when they enter into my space is you need to find something you really believe in.
gotcha, okay, and that was something you already developed from the beginning. And
Hmm.
did you kind of like tweak it a little bit as you gain more experience and grow your belief, or is it something that you still use it and continue using the same principles that you already been
No, I
using?
still use the same principles. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I'm doing the same thing, but when my belief is gone, I find something else that I can get behind and really believe in.
okay,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And so tell us more about right now what you're doing. Right now you switched to what you are doing currently. Like, what is it?
Well, I'm still in the my primary business is still the home based business, and I think there's a tremendous need out there for a side hustle with what's
Mm,
going on in the world. The
mm-hmm,
great thing about a network marketing is it's an area where people can enter on a part time basis, right, without giving up the security of their full time job. They can learn as they earn,
yeah,
okay, and it can maybe turn into something much bigger where they can actually turn to on a full-time basis,
right,
or maybe they're going to find whatever they're doing, they're excited about it at the time, they believe in it at the time, but then information, or they understand it more, and maybe then they're like, hey, I don't really believe in this anymore, but I believe in the concept, and so I'm going to go find another company, right?
yeah,
So but I what it is I think network marketing is one of the only ways someone like myself, high school education, barely graduated actually, learning disability, where you can take someone with an ambition, with the willingness to be open and learn, and you can take them from a very, very average existence to an extraordinary life,
yeah.
right?
That's truly amazing. Yeah.
So the personal development stuff that comes along with that. And so, what was your original question that you asked on that?
Like,
I kind of went a different direction,
oh
but
no, yeah, it's okay. But like where you are right now, like your transition to where you are right now,
mm.
and like
Yeah. So okay. So, but again, as you go through life, you build relationships,
mm-hmm,
and those relationships can open a lot of doors,
right,
especially if at your core you're a good person, you try to do what's right,
yeah,
and you build contacts. I mean, everything I've done has just continued to escalate,
that's
and I
amazing.
think a
Yeah,
lot of it has to do with the relationships and the
the
way I
people
treat
you meet.
people,
Yeah.
right? And so, like recently, in addition to the network marketing space and what I do there, I really believe in the crypto space. I think
Mm-hmm,
crypto is going to be a part of our future,
yeah.
regardless. And so most people resist, and they're like, I don't understand it, and they just don't want to understand it. I'm telling you, you need to understand it, right?
Yeah.
You need to understand what's going on in this space, because
Yeah.
it is going to be a part of your life. I think it was just been updated. It's been, like they say, 5% of the population is understand are involved in crypto, and now it's been updated to about 8. It's about 10% where it's kind of like beginning to be accepted, and people's like, okay,
Yeah.
I think back. I used to use this analogy way back when it was like when microwaves first came out.
Microwave. Yeah.
Right? They didn't exist for all the time.
Mm-hmm,
They
yeah.
came they came out, and people were like, that's ridiculous. That I would never get one of those. And then all of a sudden, their neighbor gets one, and they're still
Mm-hmm.
like, no,
No.
I would never. And then their other neighbor and the person across the street, and pretty soon they're like, you know what? I need a microwave.
Yes,
right? So
exactly.
everything hits a certain point, a tipping point where the masses then begin to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're probably maybe about 2 years away from that in the crypto space. And so the sooner you can get yourself up to speed
Yeah.
and beginning to understand that, the much more better off you're going to be versus coming in during that massive growth. Not that you can't still make money there, but if you can get positioned and understanding before that massive movement,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, and there's a lot of movement in terms of like I know I'm reading like in the government space right now. They're trying to promote it, and like even in traditional what you call it, like fidelity, they are trying to bring up
Mhm.
like ETFs that include crypto now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so
think about that. Just even a few years back, when you talk to people in Wall Street, or you talk to these big hedge fund manager, or talk
mm,
to your friend who's a stockbroker or whatever, I mean, they would just poo-poo it. They're like,
yeah,
"That's ridiculous. Doesn't make sense. It's not real." And now Wall Street is, like you said, all the ETFs
yeah,
and these big hedge funds and BlackRock and
BlackRock, yeah,
they're all getting involved in the crypto space.
right. They have their own vertical right now. That's
Yeah, and
have
so
their
it's just a matter of the sooner you can say, "Okay, I got to figure this stuff out."
hmm
And so, to any of your viewers, I mean, if anybody wants to um, stick their toe in the water, I'd be happy to help somebody try to get set up and understand how that works and how they can get
yeah.
started with something like that.
And also based on your experience, right? When you were out there doing the water filter, people are like, why you want to do this? Just
Hmm.
like a microwave water filter, I see all that like a correlation. Like
Yeah,
eventually, it basically now water filters are all part
yeah.
of
I mean,
your
it's
house.
everything.
Yeah,
I mean, you can go all the way back to when Henry Ford rode the first,
vehicle. Yeah,
automobile down the streets of
yeah,
Detroit. It's an amusing contraption, but get a horse,
yeah,
right? I mean, everything goes through this resistance and then awareness and eventually acceptance.
yeah. So it's like a cycle
Mm,
basically. Yeah, and because you know, my the space I'm working in my W2, I'm working with a driverless vehicle.
mm,
Eventually it will be part of our ecosystem. It's just right now the adoption is kind of
right.
yeah. So it's kind of I can see like the correlation. Like everything new, you just need to be accepted it
Mm.
first and see how it things, and then people get used
And
to
the
it.
early adopters are the ones that,
Yeah,
when the acceptance finally comes, they get to, ring the bell.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So and how did you develop like a leadership skills as well from that all the experience you have and able to like bring the belief to the people that you're trying to help as well is a
I think for me, it was, again, I keep coming back to this as well. Immersing myself in the personal development.
okay.
Back at that time when I first got introduced to it, there were, audio cassettes,
Oh,
and
okay, yeah.
right, and I was doing a lot of traveling by car, going, sharing my business ideas with people, and I would be listening to that all the time. I mean, turn my car into a university on wheels, and
Mm-hmm.
I just became a sponge. I mean, I promise anyone who digs into like a Jim Rohn or a Earl Nightingale or W. Clement Stone or Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah.
and you start really listening to that, reading it, watching, whatever is your method of learning,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and applying those principles. And it's just, I mean, I remember, um, I mean, even today, I'll listen to that stuff and I'll get myself so excited because every time you learn something, you can even listen to the same material,
Yeah.
but your level of understanding is higher, and you get
Yes.
something more out of it,
Right,
right?
exactly. It's kind of like an aha moment you get. I was
Yeah,
like, oh, I didn't really think about it before. Also, I
yeah,
listened to it again. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I didn't
yeah.
think of it that way. You
Mhm.
see people implementing it
So
and
my
stuff.
point is that, if you're wanting to really escalate your life, your level of success,
Yeah.
if you're not involved in personal development, that's a must in my
Mm-hmm.
mind.
Understood.
Listening to people that are doing what you want to do or what you'd like to do or you dream to do,
Yes,
and
exactly. Yeah.
adapting their philosophies and principles.
Okay, yeah, I totally agree on that one. It took me a while to realize that too, and finally, it's like okay, like
Mhm.
on going on university on wheels, just listening to
Mhm.
podcasts, listening to audiobook. So that's one of the things I changed. Instead of listening to the radio, I changed it to doing that right now. So that's truly great. That's something that we kind of resonate on, and
Yeah,
so
Jim Rohn, I refer to him many times. He's my very favorite, but he says you need to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Right?
Okay.
Work on your job, you make a living. Work on yourself, you make a fortune.
Yeah.
But it's all these little quotes that he has that just like profound. Wow, that makes sense. Right? Just like bad things happen to good people. Right? As Jim Rohn says, he says, not to think your garden's going to be invaded is naive. All goodness is attacked. Right? It's what are you going to do about it?
Right. Okay. How do you handle
It's the
those
decisions you make about everything. Where he talks about what happens, it happens to us all. And he tells a story about two brothers, and they were being interviewed. And the question asked to each brother was, what do you attribute to the way your life turned out? And they came back with the same answer, even though their lives were completely different. Okay, one of them was a drunk, and his response was, "What would you expect? My dad was a drunk." So he just chose to follow that path.
Yeah.
And the other brother didn't touch it and asked the same question. And he says, what would you expect? My dad was a drunk.
Yeah.
And so he chose the opposite path.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right? Again, everything in life is choices.
Agreed. Yeah. And Jim Rohn was actually, I thought Tony Robbins was actually Jim Rohn.
Yeah, Tony Robbins started working for Jim Rohn.
Yeah,
That's where Tony Robbins got to start working with Jim Rohn.
Right. And I remember Tony Robbins' story was like he was sleeping in his car, and then he was like, "I want to be working for you." And I know Tony Robbins always says like, "Life happens for you, not to you." Right. So that's kind of like similar. So
Tony Robbins actually was one of the first set of audio tapes I ever bought.
Wow, okay.
And it was like $178 or something like that. It was 31 audio cassettes, 31 Days to Unlimited Success, I think it was called. And, I'm living in the small town of Minnesota. I'm driving every day. I'm full-time now in this. I'm still living in this small town of Minnesota. I'm driving every day to Fargo, North Dakota, 70 miles. And I'd be listening to this stuff. And I remember listening to tape 2. And he started out tape 2 and he said, "Congratulations." He said, "You just made it further than 90% of the people."
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You think about people buy that set, $179. I mean, that's a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
And only about 5% make it to tape 2.
Yeah. That's truly amazing. Yeah. That's kind of profound too, right? Yeah. Because he knew like the whole KPIs, the percentages. And so switching gears a little bit, like, you already made your wealth and everything. Were you using your wealth to like also continue to build your wealth and generate more wealth? Like, were you doing anything outside?
No, actually the exact opposite.
Okay.
I didn't understand money,
Okay.
or what to do with money. And having never had money before, my parents didn't have any money. I didn't understand investments, and so I made a lot of money and I've lost a lot of money. Not, I mean, I think about what the money I've made. And if I would have understood today what I understand about money and investments and all these kind of things, that 30 million I'd have probably turned into well over 100 million.
Right.
Right.
Exactly, yeah.
And so it's that's another major thing is getting some understanding of money, finance, and is a valuable tool. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I'm doing now, because that's one of the things I'm doing is helping people. Like you say, enter into crypto, understand a little bit about, proper investments and what to do with your money versus just, blow it.
Yeah, exactly. And what was the turning point for you to be able to finally got the education to like, okay, now I need to build generational wealth?
Well, I think it's primarily, not that I didn't think I was doing that. It's just I wasn't letting my money work for me. I was working for money and then using money doing the wrong things with it. Right. And it was really more just recent, probably in the last, 5 to 8 years where I really began I got to stop this craziness. I mean, I'll make $100,000 a month and spend the whole thing.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, at one point I was, making almost 600,000 a month and burning through it.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And part of it was giving it to people and just, getting involved in investments I didn't understand and buying some of the story and, losing it.
Yeah. And from that experience in itself, that's why you're doing what you're doing right now, to be able to empower.
Yeah, I really believe that, helping people understand money and how it works. Regardless of how much you're making, you can turn it into a fortune
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
do the right things with it.
Right. And that's where you're coming in. You're
Hmm.
educating them, you're empowering them through your
Hmm.
platform and everything that
Yeah.
you're trying to do right now. And yeah, that's truly appreciated. And like so tell us more like what you're doing, how you're helping people and how people can get more involved in in the current projects and the current crypto space that you're in. Because I know the coins that you have, it's not a meme coin, it's also a utility coin
Right.
that yeah. So if you can, elaborate more and tell us more about that one.
Yeah. So, it's kind of interesting my entry into crypto, because I've been involved in crypto in the standpoint of believing in the future of it,
Mm-hmm.
and buying it, and basically riding it up and then riding it back down, and then it kind of gets a platform, a footing again, and it goes
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah.
So I believed in the long term of it, but uh, I didn't understand it enough to be trading it, selling, buying and selling it.
Yeah.
And so it was actually last year, right before Thanksgiving, I had an opportunity to go to Mar-a-Lago,
Oh wow,
and
that's
ended up
amazing.
at a dinner with some crypto people that were there, and just fascinated with the conversation. And I'm like, yeah, if there's ever a chance that I could get involved in something that you guys are doing or launching or whatever. And so this is, I don't know, early November, probably, and of last year, and all of a sudden, right before Thanksgiving, they gave me a call and they say, hey, we're launching this project. Would you like to get involved? And I'm like, yeah, I'll get involved. And so I sent them $5,000 worth of, at that time it was Solana, which is a
Mm-hmm.
one,
One of
I think
the
it's the second largest or third largest token. Uh, didn't hear anything really for a week or so, and I'm like texting them, hey, what's going on? Yeah, it's gonna launch, just we're getting everything set. And I'm starting to think, I wonder if I just threw away 5 grand.
yeah.
Right. All of a sudden, right after Thanksgiving, they said, hey, we're launching tonight, we'll send you your supply you bought for the pre-market. They sent me my supply, and as soon as they sent me, that 5 grand was worth 22,000.
Oh, wow.
Right. And by the end of the day, it had gone up to or maybe not the end of the day, but within a couple of days, it was up to like 70,000.
And wow, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, that really got me excited about the potential
Mm-hmm.
versus just buying and holding. And so that kind of launched me into, that space a little bit. Initially, it was a lot of meme coins that I didn't understand, but the potential was huge. And what meme coins are, they're a brand new coin that launches, and 99% of them
It just
go
fails.
nowhere,
Yeah.
and people lose money. They're just a pump, and then all of a sudden
Instant,
somebody,
yeah.
what they call rug it, sells out and crashes the
Mm-hmm.
project.
Yeah.
And I was doing that, a little bit just on the side, getting involved in those, not telling anybody else about it, but just trying to understand it myself. And then having gotten involved in a bunch that I saw growing, and then I'm holding, and all of a sudden somebody, what they call rug, somebody holds a lot, sells it, and it drops.
Yeah.
And I have no interest in that anymore. That's just ridiculous. You're stealing people's money. And so then, had the opportunity to help someone that was looking to go public actually launch, instead of going public, to launch a coin around their business and their what they're doing, and it something real, tangible, something
Yeah.
real that they could get involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's now turned into another business, right? Helping
Nice.
people,
Yeah.
whether it's a brand, or it's an idea or a utility or whatever, helping people develop a token behind what they're doing, to that's not a meme coin, that is a real project,
Yeah.
that people can then participate in.
Okay. And that's good though, because like you see the meme coin, the people are taking advantage of the system, and you guys are actually using the system to help a lot of things
Yeah.
like tangible as well.
Hmm.
So how can people get involved? Like, how can people reach out to
Yeah.
you, and how do you get involved in
Yeah, well, this
with
first token we launched is, having great success. It's called Medi, or
mm-hmm.
medical intelligence. You can, check out, if you go to, if you're into crypto at all, you can go to like Deck Screener, and you just type in, Medi, MEDI, and
Mm-hmm.
it should pull up. Uh, if you're not into it at all and you need help, getting, because it can be overwhelming when you're not in the
Right.
space. It's like overwhelming. Now it's just like I do it in my sleep, right?
Yeah.
But when I first got started, it was very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And one thing about crypto, when you hit that button to send or to buy, I mean, it's done. There's
Yeah.
no, oh, I made a mistake, let me redo that. No,
No.
it's done.
It's done. Yeah.
And so, if they want to DM me or whatever, they could, I can answer questions or, help someone out.
Well, be a good platform to reach
Yeah,
out to you.
and help if you're not in it at
Yeah.
all, help you get started into an area that will be a part of your life.
Right, exactly. It's like an education.
Mhm.
You're trying to empower them, educate them. If they're interested in going into that space. So what would
Well,
be
and actually, that's the main company that I'm involved in right now. Is our main product is actually an educational platform around the financial sector and crypto
Yeah.
and forex, which is foreign currencies,
Yeah.
and gold and
commodities too. Yeah.
yeah, day trading basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to elaborate more on that one, just to have a high level sense of what it is and how are you helping people, empowering people?
Yeah, so this is an entire academy. It's $149 a month, and everything from all kinds of tutorial videos, whether you're a beginner, advanced, or kind of just starting to learn it. So it's got something for everyone. And the thing about trading is, if you learn the life skill, nobody can ever take it away from you. You literally can go to the market, understand the technicals and the charts and all that stuff, and literally, be able to make money all by yourself, laying in bed,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
With involving no one else,
Yeah.
right? But it is a process to learn, and like anything, it can be overwhelmed. So our whole platform is really designed to help, people wherever they are. Learn more and be able to take advantage of those financial sectors. So everything from live sessions where you can be with a pro trader, watching them mark up a chart, and they're say, you know what, I'm looking for an entry right here, and I'm going to take that, and you can then do that with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Or even where you get signals sent to you on where these professional traders are studying the market, studying the news, studying the trends, what's going on in the world, because it all has an impact, right? Just like Jerome Powell, head of the Fed.
Yes.
Every time he opens his mouth and he or makes an announcement, it affects the market one way or the other.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly,
And so
yeah.
if you understand the impact of that, you're going to be able to get ahead of that and take advantage of those movements.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Or if you don't understand it, our platform lets somebody come in where you can take signals from people that do understand it and that send them out to you, that you can, even without your understanding, you can take advantage of that movement.
Right. Exactly. But there's also a caveat to it, right? So it might not be always a profitable thing. It might also be lost. So you just kind of like you educate them as well. Say, hey, it may or may not, the signal might be bad. So you just have to be careful, just.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, even knowing these things impact, that there's the market can do anything. So having proper risk management is incredibly important to be successful in this space.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha, yeah.
You make the mistake that you really think something's going to happen, and you go too in, and it doesn't work out the way you thought it was going to work out,
right,
or what should have happened, and it does the exact opposite. It can like almost wipe you out. So
exactly.
proper risk management is probably one of the most important things. Managing your emotions.
Yeah, and those are the things you also teach in your platform, right? Just to that's probably the first thing you tell them. Hey, just be careful. Do what you can, but not over leverage anything, and then you lose everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So key points.
Exactly. And so, how can people reach out to you? Like, what platforms do people?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you post this, but you could put my link to that platform in there.
Uh-huh.
I can give you that link, and they can just click on that, and then it'll give them kind of an overview of what it all is, and they can sign up that way, stick their toe in the water, and
they probably can reach out to you. Like
reach out directly to me and say, I'm interested in that. Say they were on this podcast, so I know where it came from, and
perfect. Yeah,
and we can start a conversation.
And that one is the day trading. Then it's a crypto, also another link that you provide as well, just that people can reach out to you. So for two different things.
Yeah, they can just DM me or whatever, and then let me know which one they're interested in, and I can help understand it.
Okay, so where can they reach out to you for DM? Is it Instagram, LinkedIn?
Instagram is probably the best, yes.
Okay, and so what's your handle on Instagram so people can reach out to you?
It's just my name.
Okay, so John Haremza. Okay, perfect, awesome.
And be careful, because I got a lot of imposters out there. Make sure you get the one with the blue dot.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely put in your Instagram handle as well in the description.
Yeah, so
the show
notes.
Yeah,
I mean, I've just somebody was showing me the other day. Somebody had a TikTok channel, that was representing it as if they were me. And
Oh,
they
wow.
actually, their channel, they built a channel larger than mine. And it's not
Wow.
even me, you know, it's an imposter.
Wow,
It's
that's
like I get
amazing.
imposters, you know, popping up. People say, is this you? And no, it's not.
No,
You
yeah.
know, it's crazy.
No, and TikTok is the one that I believe right now, TikTok is the one that you cannot buy the check mark. You have to actually get the check mark. I think they are the only platform right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's what I heard. So,
Yeah.
okay, amazing. Well, thank you so much again for that education and everything, telling people like how you started, from where you were and then how you are right now and getting to the space to empower people, educate people in
Yeah.
both like day trading and forex, commodities, and most importantly, the crypto space for many
Hmm.
tokens. So thank you so much again
And
for
the
your time.
personal development, you
Personal,
know,
yeah,
no matter
personal
where
development,
you
yeah.
are in your life, you're going to benefit when you start seeing the world differently
Hmm.
and seeing
Yeah,
problems differently.
exactly. And yeah, so thank you so much again for that
Yeah.
profound message that you provided us today. And yeah, thank you. And maybe
Great.
we'll do this again another time when,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So thank you again.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time, John. Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
this.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Justin Ng, engineer turned capital raiser and real estate investor. I started this channel to share real stories from entrepreneurs and investors who've built wealth from the ground up, just like what I'm doing right now. These days, I partner on commercial real estate and business deals with a goal to help people invest smarter, earn a solid passive income, and build long-term financial freedom. If you're looking to grow with someone who's learning, doing, and bringing real opportunities to the table, you are in the right place.